Hello, good evening, everyone. This is Nivarthi Jairam, along with our group of experts joining in the live session. Thank you all for joining. So, let me introduce quickly. First up, we have Anu Ravi. Anu is an enterprise transformation leader and enterprise agile coach with ANZ, and she is also the winner of Leadership Agility Award from World Agility Forum, apart from being a winner of Next 100 India Future CIOs, and there are many other awards. I will not go too much into detail. So, Anu, thanks for joining us. And we also have Hari. Hari is currently with Siemens, and he is an enterprise transformation leader as well, been leading transformation programs on Agile for many years now. And we also have Rohan. Rohan is joining us from Tenerity. Rohan, welcome. And he's also leading the transformation for Tenerity, and he's an enterprise agile coach. And Parul from ThoughtWorks. So she is the consultant with ThoughtWorks and does agile transformations as well. What a panel to have. Thank you all and for joining me today on this session. So we're going to talk about Agile Coaching Quest, and basically this idea came from none other than Anu. So Anu, what is this all about, and what is that we are looking for here?
Thank you, Nivarthi, and hello to everyone. So, Nivarthi, I think last year around the same time we had launched the Establishing Scrum Master program, and that was a quite a big success, and that was a community offering which we did. That made me think through on what should be our next offering. And during that time, when I was thinking through, I was organizing a hackathon and I myself was participating in an intercompany hackathon competition. So this got me thinking on, why not organize a hackathon for our agile community? So obviously we don't want to be one of those run of the mill hackathon sessions. So that's where I thought that we could actually have these themes lined up in a lean coffee way, then dig deep into it so that we can actually discuss, share our learnings. Then while we are doing this, we can come up with potential problems and then obviously solve those problems as well. So the MVP I was initially thinking was that it could be a technical solution, case study, POC, or a white paper. The themes we had initially thought was, enterprise transformation, leadership, agile coach competencies, and I think together we also came up with finance management. So when we were thinking about these themes, obviously these are very broad themes which can be further broken up into multiple themes, which we will actually do it in the lean coffee sessions to understand more about each of these themes. So while the lean coffee sessions would help to share and learn, create transparency, visualize the challenges, inspect and adapt, all those agile practices. Problem solving sprints will focus on collaborating to deliver the MVP and just pitching it, towards the end. So while the establishing Scrum Master was purely for the Scrum Masters and Agile coaches, I think this particular program, community program, can be for a broader community, for the whole of Scrum team, stakeholders, leaders. I think everybody can participate. So this was my initial thought process, and obviously, when I thought through and when I came up with this idea, I actually went ahead and bounced it with you, Nivarthi. So when I actually spoke about this idea, what were your initial thoughts?
Yeah, thank you, Anu, and thanks for reaching out. And I was pretty excited initially that yes, this is something probably that could help the community at large, and even for us, it would be a learning experience because we all have challenges that we come across, and many times we don't find people to lean on, and even if we have, we may have our own. I'll speak on myself, not our own. My own insecurities probably, which may stop me from approaching somebody for help because it's not easy to ask help while people say it's easy, right? At least I don't find that easy, because you have to uh, think a lot about where you are. A lot of people are hesitant to ask for help. So the idea was that is one, and the second point was it's about collective, cognitive diversities and experiences coming through together, right? And how do you then work together on those challenges and probably uh, provide, I wouldn't say better solutions, alternative solutions, because the context may be different and each of us would bring in different sets of experiences. So that's what definitely encouraged me or made me a lot energetic about. And of course it's always good to collaborate with our group of people in the community. So that was my take. And I think I got Hari's company wrong. So Hari is from Schneider, so sorry about that, Hari. I'll make sure you are not joining Siemens. So yeah, so Hari, thinking, talking about you, what made you come here into the program? What are you looking for from the value from the program, or what would you bring to the table as well?
And as Anu mentioned, I was part of the previous program from this community and the Digital and Agility Institute called Establishing Scrum Master, and that's been an amazing experience for me, a truly valuable experience for me in terms of being a mentor and also a participant. I get to learn from others and all the participants and all the mentors together. So that motivated me to come here and being part of this cohort, which I'm sure that it would be much more exciting and interesting a learning journey for myself, and also a collective experiential sharing of problems and solving it together. um, as you mentioned, some people may be not comfortable seeking help within the organization. Here is a platform, here is a forum that could help each other to share and learn and solve the problems at the same time. That motivated me to come here.
And thank you, Hari. And when we talked about these, and we did a lot of brainstorming, between ourselves as to what could go into some of these, and we were also looking at probably one of the famous challenges we all think about is how do you measure a coach's performance, or value add in an organization. That is something which probably we all look for, right? So when you want to justify what is the agile coach doing in the transformation, so something like that, or even how do you effectively engage leaders in transformation journey? What do you make them, what makes them compelled enough to participate? So those were the kind of challenges which we dig deeper into. But still what we think is probably these are again our biases that are driving these challenges. Probably these are primarily on our minds at the forefront. So we wanted to do that through the community itself. And we again collaborated with Rohan as well. uh, in the earlier sessions he was also part of our expert Scrum Master program. So Rohan, what made you join this?
So definitely, as Hari said, right, being a part of the earlier program into the core committee and being a mentor, we ran that program for 6 months. It was very, very difficult to focus and commit to that kind of time to a community program, 10 sprints, and it went well with flying colors. So that means the kind of passion, the kind of commitment and focus people had, like the mentor, the core committee, the participants, attendees, and the drive that come from the last program to give back to the community, right? There is a famous saying, Nivarti and the team, like it is giving is better than receiving, because giving starts the process of receiving, by Jim Rohn. And my reason very much resonates with this quote. Basically, I'll be a bit selfish about myself as well here, why I'm here, because I learned, right, from this core team. When we brainstorm about the program, we get different perspectives on the table, we design the program, that how do we plan it, how do we execute it, how do we close it. There is so much learning into it. Not only that, when the program execution starts, and we get into uh, the program with the participants, right, there is so much to learn from them. It is not only my experiences, but we are planning to get different use cases from the participants on the table, which will be discussed, and there will be a lot of giving and receiving loop, that interests me a lot.
Hmm. And Parul, what made you join us?
So the story goes like, so I was, in a conversation with Nivarti, and he spoke about this program. And when I got to know about the core committee or the program team, it got me really excited that it's a great opportunity to work and collaborate with such experienced transformation leaders. So that was my first thought that came into my mind. And as we were brainstorming, as we spoke about the lean coffee concept, that it's going to be more driven through the community, where we try to look at real life examples, real life scenarios, and collectively try to solve them. And it's a great opportunity to learn from each other. And I also feel that alone we can do only little, but when we work with more people we can do so much. So it's that thought that always comes to my mind. And the last thing I would say is that it's a very unique and innovative program. I think I haven't worked in a concept like this, where we are collectively and collaboratively doing problem solving case studies together. So I think that also really attracted me to this whole Agile Coaching Quest.
Thank you, Parul. So, probably Rohan, can you help us a bit on how we plan to run this program as well?
Sure, Nivarti. So basically, the format of this program would start with lean coffee sessions, where there would be multiple lean coffee sessions happening for these five themes, which Anu spoke about. And the best part about it is, um, the the concept of use cases, like working on the use cases in a hackathon format. It will not be from this code committee, but these lean coffees will enable these use cases to be collated, and forming a backlog. That will be the second step, where we have multiple lean coffees run for these five themes, which we will be facilitating, and we will be getting a derived use case backlog from this process. We would do backlog refinement, understanding which use cases really needs to be prioritized, and that will also happen in a collaborative way. We would pick up the highest priority themes from the backlog, the highest priority themes, use cases, and run them through problem solving sprints. So a sprint to for the participants and the teams to work on the problems and the possible solution. Mentorship and the coaching sprint, the mentorship and coaching definitely is planned to happen throughout, but there would be certain specific time allocated for it. The presentation sprint and this program, the sprints, would run till we have the backlog, the prioritized items we would want to continue with. There would be business presentations, like business case presentations, and finally rewards.
Yeah, so just when we say business case presentations, we are actually talking about the showcasing of the solutions that we collectively build as teams. And what we're also looking at as part of lean copy sessions is when you have those problem statements coming out, a prioritized backlog per se from a certain lean coffee session, and we plan to run two lean coffee sessions per theme, and each one would be facilitated by a different core committee member, or if some of the participants volunteer, definitely that would be an experience to look forward to as well. And whatever comes out, we are expecting then the participants to pick and choose which problem statement mostly resonates with them, and their context in the current state. What interests you? What is more valuable to you? And you start creating those teams to work on those problem statements. And that we are expecting the participants to choose. And then with our experience of having been in those situations and probably dealing with one or more of those problem statements, we would also look to participate as part of the team and guide and coach the team where required. I know that also provides an alternate support system from our side, our perspective, and in that bargain we also will learn from the team as well. So that's also something we are looking forward to. And yes, Parul and Hari, what else we had to discuss? One of the questions I had for both of you was why would why should people join this program?
Yeah, as I said before, it's a, if not for anything, um, being part of this community itself would help you, develop your own leadership and different thinking or different, ideas and different ways of approaching a problem itself. That, from my perspective, that would itself would be an advantage for anyone who's going to be part of this program. Number one, there would be a mentor or a facilitator who will work with you as a team, who would share their own, his or her own experiences and how he or she has handled a similar problem in the past. So that would also help you, approach a specific problem, or even shape the problem itself and define the problem itself. We start with defining the problem itself, right? So how do you define, how do you communicate a clear problem statement itself would be a starting point through the lean coffee session. So you build the agenda together, we solve the problems together. That's what I would say is the best gain from this. Pretty long answer. Parul, over to you.
Yeah. So I think thanks, Hari, for the reasons. I think there are so many reasons if I were to be part of this program that I would want to join. I think there are three top reasons I felt as I was hearing everybody. Was number one would be that it's a great opportunity to share your problems and get diverse, point of views. Because a lot of times we are working in a certain industry, for example, or for a certain customer, and we are working in a silos, but we don't get perspective of other people who are working in maybe a different geography itself. So it's a great opportunity to get that diverse perspective. Also, I felt that as we go in this process of building use cases together and presenting, it's a great opportunity to practice what we learn, and maybe creative problem solving would be another reason to join. And third is networking. I think as we work in cohorts, as we work in different themes, it's a great opportunity for us to network and maybe continue our journey with some of the people we connect here as we move forward in the program. So those would be the three reasons.
Awesome. And I also felt probably, when we are connecting together, we also get to understand more about ourselves, right? When we connect
Absolutely.
with people. That's also something which I'm very, looking forward to, if I may say so, which essentially means that, many times we don't understand our limitations, we don't understand our own uh, biases or our perceptions and how that is influencing our behavior. So probably when we collaborate with people, when we look at how others are thinking, you look at diversity of thought, diversity of presentation, diversity of ideas coming through. I think that also gives us a great opportunity to extend our horizons as people. Uh, yeah, there is a learning on the on the side, but it's more about being better ourselves. That is something I would look forward to as well. Anything, Anu, Ravi, Anu and Rohan, you like to add?
I was also thinking, apart from these, all of them are great points. I think I would bet on these points itself, more than enough to actually join this program. I was also thinking that, in our own companies, right, there might be one Scrum team, or there might be like 10 Scrum teams with a similar experience. You don't have diversity of experience within your own company. You might be a senior agile coach or an enterprise agile coach, but then you don't have anybody to look up to, right? Or you might be a junior scrum master or a new scrum master, but you don't have helping hands. So I think any profile can actually come and join this program. So you've got an opportunity to share your learnings and also learn from each other. Share your problems, get diversity of thoughts, and then implement it. So implementation, whatever you do, can actually be taken to your own companies or your own organizations. Experiment within your own teams, and once experimenting is done, come and share your failures or success stories so that it can be refined further. So I think here is an opportunity to fail fast, to network, and to implement, share and care.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Anu. Rohan, anything you like
I
to add?
think most of it is covered by you, but what I'm thinking about is different perspectives. Working in different organizations, people feel they face different challenges, and from this program, what we could get is different perspectives, different challenges coming into that backlog, where it is like it's better to prepare, like, right, rather than just getting into things. So there is a very good opportunity for people who will be attending this program to be prepared, understanding different use cases, what have what have been faced by people in the industry, in real life, and be prepared for different situations. I think that is one of the most uh, valuable things I see in the program, being prepared, right, for the real world.
Beautiful. And if you are an expert, you consider you have the expertise and you are looking for an opportunity to mentor people, please come and join us. We are not saying we are the experts or we are the only experts. There's nothing like it. It's the idea that we are bringing to the table. So if you are someone, if you think you are an expert, you have the knowledge, know how, this is a great opportunity for you to be part of the community and help people like us also learn more on solving those problems. So that's where I think this is for everyone, not just for someone who is facing the problems. If you are someone who has already solved many problems, then we would love to have you on board and help us learn more and extend our own
Yeah.
horizons, as I said. Now, also apart from what we are discussing, learning is a great takeaway from the program. Apart from this, what else we are looking at, right? So we are also looking to get some sponsorship from the community who all want to be part of the program, and we are not talking about any financial things here. What we are asking is, if you have something to share with the group, probably a book you have written, or a course you are driving, or anything that you think you will be able to help the community with, or an opportunity for some of them to showcase themselves, that's also perfectly fine, right? Or you want to publish some articles from what we are discussing and exploring. If you are a content writer, you can always come and join us and help us to publish some white papers from the sessions as well. So when I say sponsorship, it is from all angles. So that's also something we are looking from the community. So if you have any different expertise that can help people flourish in the program, please volunteer and join us for the program from a rewards perspective as well, not just about the learning. So we are looking for support. We are also looking for people who want to learn and join us. And the idea also is to look at like extending ourselves, challenging ourselves. So what we are thinking and to experiment is do the showcases somewhat live on LinkedIn, like we are doing today. For few of us, this is the first LinkedIn live. So we are breaking our own edges or moving past the edges, as they say. So we will look forward to that as well, and let's see how well we can fail together. That's something I always talk about, right? So how well we succeed, we all know. Let's see how well we can fail together, right? So that's something we are looking forward to. From a nomination perspective, I'm just sharing the link to the nomination form in the chat on LinkedIn, and for others, Google, YouTube and Facebook, I will add that in the chat there as well after the session, possibly, because I'm not sure. This is a new tool that I'm using for streaming, so I'm not really sure if it reflects on YouTube and Facebook at this time if I post a chat on the stream. But I look up to it, and then again look to you know uh, redo that if you are not able to see that. Now what we are looking for is, from today we are having giving you 2 weeks of time for each of you to nominate yourselves, and there are pretty simple 6 to 7 questions in the form, pretty much standard questions like your name, email ID, and of course what is your role. And if you are not into any of those roles, just put other, and we will talk about it when we get together. That's no binding for you to qualify. It's just that we want to understand what are the different spectrum of people that we are getting onto the program. That will give us a good understanding of how we can cater to. It also would ask you about what your expectations are from the program and what value you bring to the program as well. So you can always talk about all your strengths or your competencies that you bring to the table. That's again a free flow answer. So go ahead and put all the best of your competencies there, and we would like to make the most of it. And last but not the least, we need commitment from you all when you join the program, because it would continue for at least we are thinking about, even if we think about 2 weeks per stream, we're talking about 8 to 10 weeks of continuous exploration and learning. So the expectation is at least 3 to 4 hours or more from all of us per week. That's something also as a question in there. So we would look forward to get that information from you as well. Pretty simple it should be. And if there are any questions that anyone has, we would love to hear from anyone joining the session live with us, or any of you have any questions that are popping up in your minds at this time that we would like to still answer.
So, Nivarti, we said that we are expecting 3 to 4 hours per week for the next, say, 8 to 10 weeks. So, is it mandatory that I should have 3 to 4 weeks, or is it a co-creation? You know, uh, we can actually look at how do we want to spend that time.
Yeah, I think it's more, as I said, if you are not connecting to any of the problems, being worked upon in a week, and if you can definitely help the group explore, if you have the expertise, perfectly fine. But if you think, yes, I need this week for myself, I think you are pretty much okay to be not there, right? So it's not a attendance based program or something. It's more voluntary. So it's all about how much you relate to that problem statement, and how much eager you are to either share what you have already done and want to help the community understand your experience, or if you have a certain pre-commitments for that particular time, perfectly fine. So it's all voluntary, and participation is more about that particular theme and the problem statement that we are working on. And the teaming will be dynamic, because I may be in your team, Anu, working with a problem statement because I really want to contribute there. And, tomorrow I might say, okay, Parul is having another, good problem statement. I would want to explore that in the next week. So it's all pretty dynamic what resonates with you and or what is the expertise that you have and you want that to be reflecting, for others as well. So that's pretty dynamic. I would think so.
Nivarti, speaking of themes, it may be a question for people that we have talked about 5 themes. So can people participate in multiple themes, or they will have to choose in the beginning certain themes that they could be part of?
They can shift. We just have given an option to choose which one resonates with them right now, because that will help us to probably segment them into those lean coffee sessions. But there is no binding that if you have the real urge to participate, so why not be on everything. I would love to understand what is happening in all, if I can spend that time and effort, why not? Definitely, I look forward to that from my point of view as well.
Yeah.
Anything, Hari, Rohan, that is coming to your minds?
Um, Not really, Nivarti, for the moment. So I'm just keen that we start soon, right? 10th October, or whatever date we will be planning to launch this program. We reach there sooner and we start is on my mind.
Great. Hari,
Another
any?
question which was
Yes.
coming up to my mind, Nivarti, and I think it's just not for Nivarti, it is like, for anybody, was that, it might so happen that some of the participants may not want to actually attend the lean coffee because it's time consuming, and, obviously they might not have, given the timings, they might not have that much time. So, would we actually allow them to directly come in and participate in our problem solving sprints? So that, because that will be a lot more shorter, and they can come in, put in their heads, solve the problem, and that's a great learning as well, because this program has two aspects to it. So, what do you all think?
What does the group think?
I think it is. Uh, there's no harm in observing or even participating later, is what I was thinking about, because this is open forum for the community, right? Come and learn and give to others. So
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
as
Go ahead.
Yeah. And as Nivarti was talking about, that some of the people may be, very experienced, and they want to maybe get into, maybe not during the lean coffee, but later stage, where they feel that, I want to solve certain problems together, collaborate with other people in that capacity. So I think that would also be a great opportunity and experience.
Yeah, from an administrative point of view, just to let people be aware of what we are doing on a weekly basis, I think we will communicate that widely on LinkedIn, at least amongst 5 of us on our profiles, and regularly as we go through. And there will be an open Miro board that will be available from a program perspective, where you can always come and jump in and see what is happening in a certain week and certain state. So that would always be there, and if that interests you, just pop in and nominate at that point of time. So it's not like nomination, if you don't do it now you cannot join. So that communication will channels will keep open, so that you understand what problems are being worked upon from time to time. I think, Anu, that would be a responsibility on all of us to keep the channels open, and let people know and be transparent about what is happening across the board.
yeah, Nivarti. So there, I think there would be continuous messaging going from all of us, and I think that will create a good awareness of people, and even create that interest on the go for a few people. So
Can happen.
more the merrier with the
Absolutely.
community.
Yes.
And I have actually experienced that sometimes we are not aware of a certain program, and as it comes up, on somebody else's feed, we get to know that. And since, as we are talking, that it's open, even if you haven't joined the initial sessions, I think it will be a great opportunity for other people who have not been able to join at the beginning as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely a case. And as I mentioned, even if you, for someone who probably may feel that okay, I don't know much about agile, this would be again a great place to learn and collaborate with the experts. So don't feel that I am a starter, so probably I may not contribute. I don't know much. How would I, be part of the sessions? Everybody will start someday somewhere, so we all have started someday somewhere, not knowing anything. So it's always okay, you can come and join us. We all will learn, educate each other on the go. So don't have any hesitation or concerns of where you are, whether you are an expert or probably someone who is starting off today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine to be on board.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think, especially for people who are fresh, this becomes a great opportunity for networking for them. I think in my era, it has been 20 plus years in the industry. uh, we didn't have this kind of communities and on the internet, so so much opportunity to network, right, on from the internet. So this is a great opportunity for freshers to get directions. I believe getting directions is the best thing a new person in the community or other industry could do.
And when you said my era, I was a bit shocked, Rohan. I thought, okay, someone older than me has come into the community.
I was also thinking the same. Rohan, you're making us feel old.
Yeah.
So I have got some white hair here, so
Okay,
I
I
could
know
say
you are
that.
talking about me. That's okay. So,
I think that is a good point which was brought in. It it does not matter whether you are a new Scrum Master or an experienced Scrum Master. What's also more important is that these sessions are virtual. So it's easy for us to join. So there might be a lot of sessions which are happening in a physical space. Obviously physical space gives a lot of advantages, not contradicting that. But then because it's virtual, it gives an additional opportunity for people to join in and then at least listen in if they are not able to contribute, so that way they'll have that fast forward learning is what I would say.
Yeah, right. Thanks for backing me up, Anu. So I meant this. There was no so much virtual opportunities, 10 year before than
Correct.
now.
Yes.
Yeah.
we'll go by it, Rohan. Absolutely. And also another advantage of someone who is pretty new in the system, seriously, is that they don't come with the baggage of what we have done and what we have probably not done. So there are certain mental models that we get streamlined into when we are into certain things, certain organizations. So our way of thinking, becomes a bit constrained. Somebody new, not part of the the agile community or agile transformation or agility and the frameworks per se, coming entirely new. What I have seen is that their thought process is very disrupting.
Yeah.
That means they come with ideas which are pretty new, pretty dynamic. Because my thinking at least is that yes, I do get certain bottled up, based on how I have done, what I have succeeded with, and what I have tried. So I would have certain limitations to my thought process, the way I think, the way I process a problem statement. Somebody pretty new, because if you work with a YG today, the thought process they have is entirely different, because they don't have that, they're not bottled, is what I look at it from a metaphor perspective. I'm kind of bottled, having worked so far in so long. So that's an advantage if someone fresh with that mindset comes through. That's also an advantage for the participants also.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I think we would like to run this as an agnostic from any
Yeah.
framework or any specific model or a framework perspective. Keep it agnostic and also unbiased. And be curious. To to everything that is going to come in. And I would also request all of you to be curious as well, and what the kind of problems that is coming in, so that we can keep our curiosity alive and be unbiased and agnostic to any biases that we have towards our own experiences. So I would say that would help us together to solve the problems better.
Okay, so any last thoughts from any of you before we close the
And
session?
Nivarti, we can keep talking.
I would love to, yeah, but we can do that once we are done with the live session after this. So, anything for the people and the participants, or I would say participants and collaborators to look for apart from what we discussed. Yeah, one thing I want to add is tools.
Yeah.
We will explore a lot of tools in this journey as well, because a lot of collaborative tools are there which we could potentially use, which would help us as coaches or scrum masters or in any role, right? So, and there will be certain element of personal branding as well that we would look to work on as we go through the program, and see how can we together build that, and help us understand how to do it, how to build our brand as people, right? And also, one more thing that we would look to see is how to present ourselves better, with the expertise that we have in the group, and the diverse experience that we get, and probably other collaborators as well. And then another important element to think about is how do you create a kind of concept from scratch. That would be an expertise to bring through as well. How do you create your own frameworks? The one we recently heard of was the AHA framework, which Parul talked about in her presentation. So what was that AHA, Parul? What was the acronym, if you still have it with you?
Yeah, so it was all about how we can, embrace change, how we can. So that was all about the AHA. It is a six-step model, so to
Hmm.
say, for
Yeah.
everyone.
And Anu had brought in the personal agility framework. I remember that, and we had done a webinar on that as well, Anu, right? So yes, that would be an opportunity to learn about how to create or how to conceptualize your own models, your own frameworks that you can take back from the program, also as an added experience. Okay, so with that, we look forward to your nominations, and all the community members joining us soon, and we look to kick off the program in 2 weeks. And thank you all for joining me
Awesome.
live today, and I look forward to see you all.